A very good afternoon to you and welcome to Lunchtime News. Come to you live and direct from the Newsfirst Centre here in Colombo. I am Florin Rajendran. Let's now take a look at your headlines. 25,000 election monitors to be deployed for the upcoming general elections. 2 people killed in a motor accident on the Atharagiriya-Godagama road. SpaceX Falcon rocket destroyed shortly after liftoff from Florida. On to those stories in detail now. Election monitoring organizations state that measures will be taken to allocate over 25,000 monitors for the upcoming parliamentary elections. Executive Director of PAFRL Rohane Hettiarachchi noted that it would allocate 15,000 monitors for this purpose.
PAFRL is planning on deploying around 15,000 officers for election monitoring. Thereby, election monitors will be grouped to 4 groups mainly: the past monitors, postal votes monitors, elections day monitors and monitors on mobile patrol. We are to engage in election monitoring taking into consideration the past elections.
Now, national organizer of the National Election Monitoring Centre, Rasanga Harishchandra, expressed the following views.
The National Election Monitoring Centre is preparing for the monitoring of the upcoming parliamentary election. We especially hope to deploy election monitoring officers in each electorate.
Meanwhile, the Executive Director of CAFE, Kirti Tenakun, states that 10,000 officers are to be deployed for the monitoring of the upcoming parliamentary elections.
After accepting of nominations for the upcoming elections is concluded, we hope to deploy election monitors around the island. We are also taking measures to deploy around 10,000 monitors 2 weeks before the election. We hope that the citizens of the country will participate in the elections, maintaining the law and order of the country.
Now, with the dates for the general election announced, several views are being expressed on the political platform on the factors that should be considered when electing representatives to Parliament during the upcoming election.
During an election, we cast our vote with many expectations. Just think for a minute as to where this person gets all the money to distribute goods to people, what that person's profession is, if it is a drug business, and keep in mind that you are casting your vote after accepting goods distributed through drug money.
It is the responsibility of party leaders to ensure that a parliament without drug dealers, ethanol dealers, marijuana dealers, members of the underworld and smugglers are created during the upcoming election. If that cannot be done, we should leave it at least to the people of this country to teach them a lesson through which a good parliament will be created. We should elect clean and pure people. This position parliamentarian was sold in the past. The people must understand this. They have to decide whether they are to vote for the person who will sell his parliamentary membership after being elected to parliament. Today, for the first time in the history of parliament, 4 ministers are being placed under remand custody. Regardless of what thievery is committed, it usually takes 2 to 3 years for the case to be heard in court, which leads people to question what happens when the rogues are caught. We have sent around 40 files to the Attorney General's Department to take action against such persons. They are speaking of thieves and drug dealers. Then they are pointing fingers at others and are trying to rule the country. If they are really connected with those crimes, they should step down from their positions.
Minister Sajid Premadasa says that it is the objective of the current government to create an era of employment for the youth of this country. The minister made this statement while addressing an event in Katuwana, Hambantota.
The event was held to donate funds to the Katuwana Sri Viharya Sunday School under the Sasunata Aruna program. The youth in our homes is the strength of our country. But what has happened to the youth today? Unemployment has become a major crisis among the youth.
මහා බරපතල උග්‍ර ප්‍රශ්නයක් බවට පත් වෙලා. කඩවල ගානේ බෝක්කු ගානේ ඉගෙනගත්ත තරුණ පරපුර අද නන්නත්තර වෙලා ලත වෙනවා. ඒ නිසා අපේ දැක්ම
Therefore, it is our vision to create an era of employment for the youth. We will commence our program to provide 1 million jobs in the country.
On to one of our headline-making stories, 2 people were killed in a motor accident which took place on the Athurigiriya-Godagama road.
Police media spokesperson ASP Ron Gunasekar said the accident was a result of a car travelling from Athurigiriya to Godagama veering off the road and crashing into a wall. The ASP Gunasekar added that victims are aged 32 and 24.
Meanwhile, an individual has been killed after being stabbed with a knife in a restaurant on the Maragama-Dehiwala road.
The police said that the accident was a result of an argument which broke out between 2 groups early this morning. The police added that one individual who was critically injured in the accident succumbed to his injuries upon admission to the Colombo South Teaching Hospital.
On to some weather news now. Due to the convergence of wind flow, showery weather will continue in the southwestern part of the country and strong southwesterly winds over the country and surrounding sea areas are expected. There will be showers at times in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central provinces and in the Galle and Mathura districts. Heavy rainfalls more than 100 millimeters can be expected at some places. Thunder showers may develop at a few places in the eastern and Uba provinces during the afternoon or evening. Now, strong southwesterly winds with speeds up to 60 to 70 kilometers per hour will occur over the country, especially over western slope of the central hills and surrounding sea areas are also expected. An issue has cropped up with regard to the posts of the Government Medical Officers Association. The issue has arisen after an injunction order was issued by the court against the election, which was scheduled to take place on the 27th. However, despite the injunction order, an interim administrative committee was established on the 27th. To elaborate on this matter, media briefings were convened by both factions yesterday.
This time around, this group brought a court order at around 5:30 the day before yesterday, banning the election which was to be held on the 27th of July. So we decided not to hold any sort of election on the 27th. However, a certain group held a meeting at around 4 p.m. on the 27th in defiance of the court order. They formed an interim committee through an election. Those who were appointed to the interim committee also formed an election committee through an election. Through that, they were appointed to certain posts. We see this as an insult to the court order issued. I read the court order. It is not mentioned anywhere in the order to cancel the AGM. It is clearly stated under Article 16 that it is the elections that have been cancelled. However, it is not stated anywhere to cancel the general meeting. These individuals are preparing to sabotage the Government Medical Officers Association. These are not just the acts of the doctors. The trusteeship of the association is still being held by the past interim committee. With the appointment of the new interim administrative committee, the official terms of the past members end. Therefore, we urge all members that there might be certain persons who will attempt to mislead you. This is clearly an action which violates the court order. We hope to send a report on this to court.
The Ministry of Fisheries says that the assistance of an Air Force aircraft has been utilized to locate 3 fishermen who went missing along the seas of Tangol.
Minister Mahinda Amravira stated that the Coast Guard and Naval Forces are working together to locate the fishermen. The fishermen had gone missing after setting out to sea from Tangol on the 25th of this month aboard a vessel named Lakshan. The fishermen are residents of Tangol, Pallikkuda and Henagaduwa areas.
You fulfilled your responsibility towards society. Call Mathura Hambantota, who is the best U reporter. Newsfirst U Report Regional Convention, Southern Province, on the 5th of July at the Mathura Cooperative Society Hall at 8:30 a.m. For more details, call us on 0114 896 896.
Well, that's a wrap of lunchtime news here at News First, reminding you that you could keep abreast of these stories and much more by simply logging into our website www.newsfirst.lk. For the News First team, I'm Florine Rajendran. Have a wonderful day ahead of you.